Hi guys, this is Harshita. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing really great. This video is super interesting for me and I hope it is interesting for you too. I'll try to talk as much as in English because I checked my analytics and I have an audience mix of Indian people from the US, people from Canada, people from Mexico as well. But yeah, this video is about do your karma, don't worry about results, 4 important life lessons. For so long I was thinking, what should I make a video about? I haven't done a podcast kind of video in so long and I was thinking about the topics, but nothing was coming to my mind. And this morning, something just hit me, and I was like, I should make a video about do your karma, don't worry about results. Because something happened with me. I'm going to share it later in this video with about that. But yeah, let's just get into the video straight away. I have everything in my notes here because I get very distracted, and then I switch the topics and I talk a lot, and I don't think anybody is interested in that. So everything's sorted here. I'm gonna try to get to the point straight away. So let's get into the video. The idea of karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. Do your work, don't worry about the results. This mindset has helped me so much. And I'm going to talk about the recent incident that happened with me and what I learned from that and why I'm saying or why I'm making a video about this. So basically, I am doing YouTube for more than 3.5 years. My channel is still not yet monetized. I do not earn a single amount of money from this channel because my channel is not monetized yet. Previously, I was thinking that it's okay because I was not putting much efforts in my videos. But since the start of this year, I have been very consistent with YouTube. I have improved my editing skills a lot. I'm not gonna say that I am so good at cinematography or like putting effects or like everything about that. But the way I connect with you guys is more through talking and like sharing my life experiences, and that's my niche of this channel. So it did not get me in previous years that my channel is not growing, but for 2-3 months I was kinda demotivated in terms of how do I like continue this? How do I go about this? How do I move forward with the channel? Because this channel is super silent. I ask feedback, I ask suggestions, I ask video ideas on my Instagram, on my community post, on my other posts on threads, but I do not get any response other than the silence. Nobody shares how do I improve or what do you guys want to watch, and that silence was bothering me so much for the past weeks. But at the same time, I love doing YouTube so much. It's been like, it's gonna be 4 years soon, and this channel this channel was never about the money because I'm still not earning it. I just love making YouTube videos. I just love making vlogs because when I go back to the videos from a year or 2 years back, I just love watching it. I just love watching my own documentary, own life, and how much I have grown. I've grown so much. And you guys have seen me, whoever is with me since the start, you guys have seen me how much I have grown mentally. Yeah. So, the point is that this was bothering me so much. But then I was like, let me leave it in God's hand and just keep working on it. Because this quote, I read that you cannot want it and have it at the same time. And that's where my desperation was coming from for past weeks. That I just wanted to get my channel monetized, so that I was checking my YouTube studio, my YouTube views, my YouTube subscribers every single hour. Like, is this video is gonna go hit? Or like, is this video is getting any views? Or is this video is getting any comments? And all of that. But then I was like, if I've already prayed about it, then God knows better when it is the right time for me to maybe get famous. Because everything is pre-planned. Like, He has planned every single step of my life. Then why am I worrying so much? Why am I not trusting God that it's gonna work out whenever it is time? I should just enjoy the process. Maybe God is trying to teach me to be patient all along. Maybe God is trying to teach me that it's okay. You are enjoying it, so just keep doing it. You don't have to be happy when you get to the destination. You still get to enjoy the journey. If you're going to the point B, you should start enjoying. You should be happy when you are walking from point A to point B. There's no, I don't have to explain it more. I think everybody just understand it. Next thing, next incident. What happened is I am still struggling so much with money this particular month because I work as an audiovisual technician for events, and in the event industry, it is very common that work gets slow, work gets basically dead when there's no events happening. So in my company, people who are working hourly, just like me, go on employment insurance. So whenever we go on employment insurance works in the way where if you get $50 an hour while you're working, you are gonna get half of that money when you are on the employment insurance. And you only get some amount of hours of the money. I don't know how to form this sentence, but just search it up about employment insurance. So I recently, like all of a sudden, got to know that my work is not super busy in the month of July and August, and I was not prepared for this at all in terms of savings. I was like, I'll do something. Maybe employment insurance is gonna work out because it has worked out in the past. But this particular month, what happened is I went on EI, which is employment insurance. I'm gonna say EI because it is much easier. So I went on EI on 29th of June, and from 29th of June till 15th of July, I was waiting. So when you go on EI, you basically have to file your weekly reports on the internet, that how many hours you have worked in the slow season weekly. And I was waiting to file my reports, and I was going online every single day and going to the option to file my reports, and it was saying that your past claim has ended and you have to submit a new claim. I thought that it's going to take some time and it's going to happen on its own, and after some time it will give me the option to file my reports. And I did not know that it doesn't work like that. first I have to apply, and then I have to move to the second step, and then I have to file the report. I waited till 15th of July, and I was like, this month I am very, very fucked because I don't have money for the rent. But I was not worrying at all. I just knew that something is gonna work out. I have this nature where I do not worry about money or any stressful situations in my life. I worry more about the people I'm close to and their stressful situations and their stressful events in their life. It's just me. I do not feel any stress about my situations for some reason. I just trust God so much that it's gonna work out for me. But I don't know why I don't have this trust when I see other people in pain, or my close friends or close family members are in pain, because I feel their pain, and I don't know. I just feel so much stress. So all this happened, and then I was waiting till 15th of July. So I picked up my phone. I called the customer service of employment insurance, and I was like, I'm not able to submit my weekly reports. What is going on, and what can I do about it? And they were like, because you are doing the second step before doing the first. You have to apply for it again. Even though you have applied it before, you have to apply it again whenever you go on EI again. Like, I went on EI in the month of March this year. So I thought it's just gonna let me move to the second step without applying again, because I was already on EI in the same year and in the month of March. So they suggested that I have to apply again. I applied again on the 15th of July. Today is 22nd of July. I did not get any response. And I was checking it again and again if there is a decision they made about my application or whatever. But at the same time, I had this trust in my heart that God is gonna work out with something. Even though I don't have my money to pay the rent of the next month, because I have to pay the rent on 31st of July. Even though I don't have the money, God is gonna work it out. God is gonna work it out anyhow. And He did. I swear He did. I got some vacation pay from my company. I bought a gift for my friend, a birthday gift, from my credit card. And as you cannot transfer the money from your credit card to someone, I paid for the birthday gift from my credit card, and my friend gave it back to me, and she gave it back to me in my debit card, and I got some amount of money from that. And today I picked up the call and I was like, at least let me try. And then I called the customer service again. I was like, is it possible to expedite my process of getting a decision on my EI? Because I applied it on the 15th of July and I still have not received any decision, and I have to file the reports because I need the money, and that's why I'm on EI. So they were like, yeah, we can work on your file. They put me on hold for 45 minutes this morning. I should have cut the call, because 45 minutes is a lot, but I did not. It's like, मैं तो अपनी तरफ से कर्म करूं, उसके बाद अगर वो कॉल पे मुझे बोलते हैं, and if they say that, oh, we cannot do anything, then it's okay. Then I can say that God is going to work it out. But at least let me try from my side. Let me do everything from my side. Let me give my 100%, 120%. And then I can say that, oh, God is going to work it out. So I stayed on the call, on hold for 45 minutes, and they were like, your file is done. You can file your reports the next day. I can file my reports tomorrow, and within like 2-3 days, they transfer the money in my account, and I will have the money in my bank account for my rent. That's the lesson I learned today, that do your karma and don't worry about the results. I asked God that please help me with the money for my rent. I gave my 100%. I called the customer service. I stayed on the call even though it was a longer wait time. I gave my very best. I tried every solution. And then let the go, and then I let God handle it, and He handled it very well. So that was the first lesson, guys. That was the first lesson. I know the story was too long, but if I'm sharing my personal experience, maybe you are gonna have the better understanding what I'm trying to say. And if you don't like this long stories, you can say it in the comments, and I'm gonna keep it short. Next, don't worry about things you cannot control. There is no point of worrying about problems that don't have a solution yet. It's been like so many years that I learned this lesson where I sit down with a problem. If there is a solution, I find a solution. I work on a solution. If there's no solution, then there's no point of me stressing about it because there's no solution for it. Then why am I crying about it? People in this generation find everything so relatable that they have normalized sadness or being stressed every single day. But that's not right. I know there are bigger problems in everybody's life, and maybe I don't have that serious problems that I am saying it very easily that don't be stressed about it. But I would say the more you feel good about something, the more good will happen. I swear. This is very, very true, and I have seen this in my life as well. The more I stress about a situation, the more stressful the situation becomes. The more I feel relaxed and calm about a situation, the more calmer, the more relaxed the situation becomes. The method is sit with the problem. If you have a problem, like for example, I had this work permit issue last year where I made some mistakes and I had to restore my work permit. I had to restore my status in this country, and I was illegal for some time because my study permit got expired and I did not have a valid document to apply for work permit. So at that time, what I did was I was not stressed about it at all. Even though after 150 days of being on no status in a country, you have to leave the country. I was not stressed about it. I was like, let me find a lawyer. I said, first of all, I sat with the problem. I was like, I wrote it down in the notebook that this is the problem. It's okay if I made some mistakes. What's the solution? There's no point of crying about a mistake that you made in the past and the past can be yesterday. Because there's nothing you can do to change it. So I sat with the problem. I was like, what's the solution for this? Contacting a lawyer. Maybe I will have to pay more, and I did have to pay more. But that's another thing. That's another story. As I talked to the lawyer, I was like, this happened. What solution you're gonna give me? They helped me with it. They said that the timeline to get your status restored and get your work permit is 3 months. 3 months I was not able to work because I was not on any status. I was basically illegal. But I'm so grateful for my friends. I stayed at my friend's place. And I was like, I'm gonna be chill about it because there's nothing literally I can do. The things that were in my hands is contacting the lawyer and restore my status, file an application. I did that. And then I don't have to cry about it because there's nothing gonna happen if I cry about it. So I stayed very chill. I got my work permit in 25 days when the timeline was 3 months. Do you think that happened because I was operating on good frequencies and not on stressful frequencies? I would say 100% yes. That is very, very possible. So that was the second lesson. Lesson 3. Live each day as it could be your last. For quite some time, I never used to get worried about dying, to be honest, or something happening to me in terms of safety. I never used to worry about it. I always used to think that nothing gonna happen to me right now because I have so much to live for yet, where I have to give a good life to my family, where I have to fulfill my dreams before dying, and God is not gonna let me die. And I had this full faith, but it's been a month where I was not feeling the same anymore about this life and death situation, because I live in this area. I live near Yorkdale in North York, and in this area, in my building specifically, and in my area, there's so much crime happening. Literally every single day, I see at least 3 to 4 paramedic and fire trucks passing by every single day, and that is maybe normal, but I saw it from my own eyes. There are so many homeless people around this area. Day before yesterday, I saw a guy stripping right in front of my eyes. How mentally how mentally fucked up you have to be to strip on a busy street like that. There's a shooting happened last month at the subway station that is very close to my house, and there are other incidents has happened as well. So from some time I was feeling very stressful. I was not going out until I had to, because I was not even leaving my balcony door unlocked because I was so scared. And from 2-3 days, whenever I'm going out, after seeing that creepy man stripping himself on the main road, on the main street, something changed in me. It's been 2-3 days, and every time I go out from my building, I step out from my building for any kind of work, I feel like this can be the last moment where I'm living today. And today I was going to the cafe, which is very close to my house, for study, and before that I prayed and I stepped out of my house. Before opening the front door of my building, I was thinking in my head, Harshita, what if it's your last moment today and someone is gonna shoot you? I swear I'm not saying it in a depressing way. I'm very chill about it, but I was thinking it like this, Harshita, did you pray well today? Did you say thank you well to the God if something happens to you today? Did you do something good today that if you die right now, you're gonna be chill about it? And my answer to myself was, yeah, I thanked God. I was so grateful while praying today. And I did some productive things in the morning, where I was shooting a video, where I was editing a video, and I talked to my family as well. So if I die today, I'm okay with it. And I was not only thinking about today, I was thinking about some past days, past months, past year as well, where am I doing right things in my life, where if I die today, I'll be okay with it in my last moments, or I'm gonna regret it? And my answer was, I'm not gonna regret anything. I am doing great, to be honest. So this incident, whatever is happening about safety in my area, has changed my perspective on living every moment so well that even if I die in an hour, I'll be okay with it. I'll be chill about it. I'll not regret it in my last moments. That was the third lesson. Fourth, it's not selfish to protect your peace. Now, let's come to the fourth point, fourth lesson. I'm gonna read this from my notes because this is very hard to explain without looking at my notes. So, sorry if I am looking at my phone. But this lesson is about you don't have to carry everyone's pain to be a good person. People can take this point in so many ways. People can say, I am very ghatiya person. But let me clarify what I mean. I personally am learning that it's not my job to carry everyone's pain, even if it's my own family, even if it's my close ones. We are taught to care. We are taught to be there for our loved ones. And that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes people we love go through things that are not fixable, because that is God trying to teach them a lesson. That is their karma. And we cannot fix it no matter what sometimes. Even if we try our best. Even if we look out for so many solutions. Sometimes we just cannot fix it. So when that happens, we start feeling guilty even for smiling. We feel like, how can I be happy when our loved ones are suffering? Or when our loved ones are in pain. But the truth is, your happiness does not mean that you do not care. Your happiness does not mean that you are a bad person. You can still be detached and be a good person. But detachment does not mean that you're just going to ignore the problem. For example, if I have a co-worker who is going through something, detachment does not mean that I'm not even going to ask that person if they are doing okay, if they need any help. That is not detachment. That is ignorance. That is spiritual ego that you are running away or completely ignoring the problem and saying that you are protecting your peace. No, it does not mean that. Detachment means you're going to ask them how they are doing. What can you help with? You're going to sit with them. You're going to cry with them. But you're not going to come home and lay in your bed and not focus on your life just because you're feeling the pain of someone else. You're still going to live your life happily and you're going to smile while offering support to them. It does not mean you ignore the pain or act like nothing's wrong. It does not mean you stop feeling. You're supposed to feel the pain. You're supposed to care. But you're not supposed to let it destroy you. Even Lord Shiva, when Ma Sati died, he felt all the pain. He did not run away from his emotions and did not shut down or acted like, I don't give a fuck, I don't care. He cried. He walked through the fire, but he did not let himself burn in that fire. He cried while walking in that fire and he came out stronger. He was also a family man. So detachment does not mean that you're just gonna stop and ignore everything. You're gonna still feel the pain. You're gonna still cry about it. But you're not gonna let that emotions just be your entire life. You're gonna learn from the problems and you're gonna come out stronger. So yes, feel your feelings, be present, support the people you love, but don't forget yourself in the process. Don't carry guilt for having moments of peace, having moments of joy, having moments of laughter while others are hurting. Because that's their lesson they have to learn. I'm also learning that because I'm also learning this lesson because I also feel so much guilt if any of my friends are going through something and I myself in my life is doing something good. I feel the guilt. So while talking about it, I am also taking it in that it's okay to enjoy your life even when someone else is going through something. Your strength, your peace, that's not selfish. That's sacred. That's what's going to help you stand strong when they need you the most. If you also break down while they are breaking down, who are they going to look for? Think about a child whose parents are suffering. That child, if he needs their parents, he's not gonna be able to ask for support because in his mind he's gonna think that they're already suffering. How can I make it worse when they are suffering on their own? But that kid needs help too. So you're gonna stand strong. You're not gonna let yourself burn with the fire. You're not gonna let yourself burn in the fire of someone else's lesson of what God is trying to teach them. So that's all for this video. My camera is also about to die, but I hope this video finds someone who is in need of any of these lessons. And yeah, that's all. Bye bye guys. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Comment down below of what did you like about it. If you don't want to comment, it's okay. If you want me to talk about something specific, you can comment down below. I'm gonna reply to all the comments if you guys comment. I never get any comments, so but it's okay. Okay, that's all. I am just talking for no reason, so that's all. Bye bye guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Love you.